Both teams hone their skills a bit more here towards the end of the split. Like we said, Phoenix1 trying to get every possible win under their belt. TSM is going to do everything to stop that. Syndra and Caitlyn ban, expect to see the LeBlanc and the first few bans here on the phase 1.
Yeah, we've been seeing a little bit more switcheroos in the ban phase on 7-15 here. Zach obviously received some pretty big nerfs. Teams have been letting him through. And then it's a question of whether you even want to pick him. Yesterday was a little peculiar because towards the end of 7-14, we were seeing Maokai first picked almost whenever available, but there were times where Maokai fell through even the second phase of bans. So a lot that these teams are going to have to kind of decide on their own within their own scrim blocks what is still OP and worthy of a red side ban for TSM. Clearly they're saying they think Zach is still in that point, so they ban that.
Final ban for TSM. Thresh away from Biofrost as well, so they get one hit just about everywhere across the map.
Yeah, I feel like
having that flex.
I feel like Thresh dropped in priority a little bit due to the bug fix on his Flay, which was adding a slight amount of additional CC and making it easier to hook directly after your Flay. With that being said,
so you're saying
still one of Biofrost's best champion.
No,
yeah, you're just easy as free hook, but now he's definitely harder to get that set up.
Absolutely. So it's going to be Kalista that gets taken out. Neither Thresh or Kalista get through this time. Maokai picked up by Phoenix1 here for Mike Young in the jungle, most likely. We'll see what TSM answers with for their 1-2.
Yeah, so from a first pick perspective, this is really similar to 7-14. There were no direct changes to Maokai between that patch and 7-15, so I'm not surprised to see it locked in right away for Phoenix1. Huge tank, flex pick, top lane or jungle, so easy value up there. And I'm a little surprised that TSM didn't try and trade that for Kalista, because that's what I often see done. But they're the ones who banned Kalista, and then they get two strong, but I wouldn't say first pick worthy champions in return.
Tristana has really been opening up games and turrets once a team can get a hold. TSM usually has that mid-game swing, which would allow them quite a bit, or quite an influx, I should say, of that power and gold. Gragas, Trist are those picks as we wait on Phoenix1.
Yeah, Kog'Maw is another thing we're seeing a lot more of. We've actually seen Wit's End being rushed as a first item occasionally. And even over in the LPL, and I wonder if this will catch on here, you're seeing barrier Kog'Maws with heal supports who rush Art and Sensor, and then you hit this 15-minute power spike where you just instantly take the bottom lane by storm. But basically just power picks done by Phoenix1 so far. And they're saying there's enough supports left on the table that TSM won't be able to ban them out to really cripple that lane.
Yep, very good for Pyrian here to get the Talia as well. He was really cycling in the Corki, the Jaces and whatnot when those were still viable, but more viable. So having to get to Talia means he gets comfort. Gnar over on the side for Haunser, the playmaking to come in when he can get to those fights.
Yeah, Gnar is something that can win lane against Maokai. But it's also a good blind pick, which is what must be done since Maokai is a flex pick right now. I think TSM has been very safe with their draft so far. Gragas, a solid jungle Trist, a top tier AD carry for sure, and Gnar, a very good solid top laner that fits in with a lot of team comps.
A few more hits, Bjergsen feels all right. We push down a few more times. And it looks like they hit at least the top lane. Maybe they throw something special here, or just one more at what Zig would be picking on that Kled.
Yeah, they're almost banking on the fact... Well, that's interesting because the Jace could go top lane, the Rek'Sai could go jungle, so they're trying to kind of get rid of whatever picks they would be worried about if Phoenix1 does decide to throw Maokai in two different roles. They don't opt to ban supports against the Kog'Maw because they themselves haven't picked a support. And I think Phoenix1 will continue to ban out mid laners as that's the mismatched role.
Absolutely. So another one taken down. Bjergsen still has quite a few on his list that he could play. But those top ones taken out for himself in Syndra, Cass, and Orianna. Pick up here, looking for at least a mid or a support.
Yeah, Bjergsen knows he's going up against a Talia. So the mid laner is the correct choice here and saving the support for last pick.
Still viable.
Yeah, he's only played Corki twice this split, but boy, is it a viable mid laner as far as a damage perspective goes. pretty solid pick once again for TSM.
Keep it nice and safe in the mid lane, farm behind the minions, and even if you get pushed into your wave, farm up easily. So the Kled stays in. Looks like Zig will be happy to take that. They have 1 second before the lock-in, and the support. What will be in the hands of Expecial?
Exactly. Now the question will be, do they try and go with the bruisier front line with something like an Alistair or a Braum, or do they do the current Ardent Sensor hype train and lock in a Lulu down here to try and get through the laning phase and scale into late?
Could be a pretty interesting turret composition with all the dives. If you get a good Cosmic Radiance,
True.
Braum, a tried and true for
Tankier.
Expecial, the tankier choice. He locks it in. He'll be able to block a few of these incoming rockets.
Yeah, I like this hover from Biofrost as well, though. Janna, I think one of the most underrated pro supports on the patch. Solo Q knows all about Ardent Sensor Janna. But this will be interesting because Phoenix1 has brought so many more tools than TSM for starting fights and CCing people. And he switches over to Lulu, who's still an Ardent Sensor user, but not quite as point and click as Janna for shield on man. But yeah, a low CC overall team composition for TSM. Corki doesn't bring any CC. Gnar needs to be in Mega to have that initiation. And Lulu isn't your Braum type initiator that you could see on the other side. So Phoenix1, if they get ahead, absolutely have a way to close this game quickly. With the Kled initiation on top of all the CC they can chain. TSM's going to have a strong laning phase of this game to prevent that from happening.
Yep. Both of the 80 carries kind of wanting to charge up here in the beginning. We'll see if Mike Young and Sven Skaren can bring a little pressure down towards that bot side. Also on the top, you can see in that Kled. Let's see if they can get the pressure up there with Haunter's Gnar as well. We're loading on to the Rift. TSM looking to keep themselves here at the top of the charts, but Phoenix1 is looking to keep those championship points. Both want this win. Who wants it more? The coaches head off to the back as the players are left to their own device here. Mechanics and the knowledge here coming into play. Hashtag P1 win, hashtag TSM win as we load on to the Rift.
Yeah, one more time going over those team compositions. A lot of comfort picks coming through for Phoenix1. Pyrian's Talia has been his best champion year-round. Zig's Kled has been what he is known for. But Doublelift has also picked Tristana as his go-to AD this split. He's got that pick.
Got a Ramus in the crowd. Many Teemos and many fans ready to see TSM and P1 duke it out on the Rift. Oh, Butterfly Kog'Maw flying around.
TSM fans out in force. And even though this may seem like a freebie game, you have a 12-4 team against a 4-12 team. Phoenix1 always plays TSM tough. And Phoenix1 also has a ton to play for. TSM is playing to secure a playoff bye. They do that with a win. They secure first with 2 wins this weekend. If they win this one and then beat COG on Sunday. Phoenix1 needs to finish 8th or above. 9th or 10th means they lose their championship points and head to the promotion tournament. 7th or 8th means they keep their championship points and head on to the regional qualifier, which will happen after the summer finals and still have that chance at Worlds.
Get that extra pressure, see if they can really get Mike Young formulated into the team for that situation. He came out so explosive, and it did put that light at the end of the tunnel for P1 here, but they are also going to have to work for it all the same.
Yeah, and we got to hear Mike Young talk about the meta shift and how he was a very good jungler before the meta shift when he was playing all his comfort, and then he had to adapt his playstyle to playing Maokai, Sejuani, the tanks that are big right now, and that is really what defines the veteran pro junglers from the new guys. Sven Skaren's been through it all at this point. He's played both versions. Mike Young still needs to prove he can have that same level of impact on things like Maokai.
He's off with a pretty nice leash. We'll track that. Junglers are going to be on opposite sides once they round out their jungle paths. And we begin the laning phase as well.
Yeah, so I'm actually a little interested that neither of these guys started Raptors because that is the most efficient route, especially Maokai. Since he had the pull from the Braum and the Kog'Maw, I still don't like that optimization by the Maokai. You can stack 3 saplings in your Raptor Brush, throw a 4th as your first 3 explode, kill 5 of the small Raptors, and then go and take red. It's the super leash. You can do it with Maokai, but the bot lane gives just as much investment. He's now not going to be able to hit level 4 as fast, and I feel like it's just a less efficient route.
And it seems like that would be just kind of something that works. It's not something you wouldn't do if you haven't before, right? This is only his second play, but it's just saplings to Raptors, then red. So it seems like it would be pretty easy to do in the beginning. Choice for him, though, maybe he just feels comfortable starting on that red. He is going to be towards the top side scuttle now.
Yeah, there are reasons that even if the other one's more efficient, you would go for the buff start. Especially against Talia and Corki. Both those guys are really good at harassing your Raptors. If they just steal one of those small Raptors while you're trying to do a super leash, the super leash falls apart because you don't hit level 2 by the time you go to bed. Furion, though, caught out.
Hello. Maybe thought he had enough movement speed to get past that wall. Definitely going to have to blow his flash here. Actually got a good shove in. And that holds that for himself. Very low. Now he's going to have to lose a little pressure in lane.
Yeah, really good timing of Svenskaren's gank right there because Mike Young had just cleared bot to top, so he wasn't going to be near that spot. And he gets a bunch of harass onto Pyrion, which will help Griggs and get lane pressure.
Mike Young also with a bit of an idea of where Svenskaren could be. You see top lane going back and forth. Sven quickly actually changing that path, heads towards top side. He may actually be beating up with Mike Young here as he tries to get a ward in. Junglers start to seek each other out. Oh, nice Scryer's Bloom.
Yeah, it's going to spot out Svenskaren, but likewise, only someone that is a jungler could have hit that Scrying Orb at the time, so Svenskaren now knows where Mike Young is as well.
That's the one, right? It feels good to hit, and then you're like, oh, but they got to know I hit it. Oh, well. It's the information. Only if you can use it faster is it your advantage. Bjergsen as well, canceling out that Scryer's Bloom on the bottom, so he can figure out if he is safe in that situation. 26-29 here on the bot side. A little aggression from Xpecial. They switch targets. Heal onto Biofrost. Bio Arcane Barrage falls off, and Arrow is happy to farm.
Yeah, really interesting play there by Xpecial, jumping forward to threaten doubles. Mike Young might flash there.
Twisted advance, Bramble smash. The Q actually misses. They don't have the follow-up block up. And it is going to be a walk away here. That flash still just for double lift, but the flash there for Xpecial. I'm sorry, heal for double lift, flash for Xpecial.
Yeah, I want to say that Mike Young clicked the wrong target with his Twisted Advance. Biofrost was at 200 health. And if you flash Twisted Advance that guy, you probably kill him with the double flash, but he instead locks up double lift, who has rocket jump. So all that has to happen is he burns heal, and they get out of that one for a 2-for-1 summoner spell trade advantage. So a missed execution by Mike Young on that game.
Very much so. Svenskaren continuing this path. Made sure he got over to Raptors, so he knows that timing. He's going to go ahead and start stealing these away. Knows Mike Young is just under him, but with the lane push already has Bjergsen in his favor.
And he knows Mike Young has no flash, so if they do catch him here, since Svenskaren's at full health, they might even be able to kill him with the damage from Corki and Gragas. So a safe jungle invade, punishing Mike Young's failed flash gank.
Leaves it too. Says you have to pick up the scraps.
Yeah.
Is he going back? They just want more wards. They can play Ring Around the Rosie with him right now. Had eyes on Mike Young since he hit that Scryer's Bloom, and Svenskaren is working that perfectly. It's not even for the kills and ganks. It's just so they can have this strong early game and set something up. The pressure hasn't hurt anybody too much. 52-44 as there's a back from Pyrion. May lose a few of this CS in mid as Bjergsen's going to push up.
Yeah, no big CS lead for the Trist yet, and I think Kog'Maw is going to be happy with that if he can stay at CS parity with the Trist for the majority of the lane phase. I think it's going to help a little bit with that, but you know, having the Berserker Screams now to a BF sort of Trist means that lane could get pretty scary pretty fast.
Sheen for Bjergsen as well. Might be able to throw out some very fast damage that Pyrion's not expecting if they can come back to lane right away. And also got to remember, Bjergsen has that teleport. This is a double TP team for TSM. They have very quick ways of getting around the map if something happens. That's going to be package, teleport, and monsters teleport. So almost 3 ways.
And I think we might be seeing a lot of action around the bottom lane this game. I mean, that's generally how Kled Talia team compositions work, which is what Phoenix1 has, is just a lot of collapsing. The Talia wall and the Kled ultimate are 2 of the best map traversing abilities in the game. And Kog'Maw is one of the best carries to play around. So the composition speaks for itself as far as what they want to do. It's just a matter of if TSM can stop it from happening so they can scale in their own right.
Bit of vision here for P1 to stay safe. Biofrost Just working on more HP and health for the lane so they can stay and harass.
Yeah.
You're gonna slight roam down from Pyrian just to get some vision. P1's actually trying to say Sven has too big of an idea of what's going on our side of the jungle. We need to gain control back here.
Yeah, and 3 minutes after that gank bottom lane, you're still seeing the effects of it on the map because those wards that spotted Mike were placed by Svenskaren's Tracker's Knife as he was doing the counter jungle. That's, if you're gonna go back for an early Tracker's Knife, if you can use those first 2 wards in those exact 2 spots that Svenskaren did, one by the red buff, one in the brush right next to the Raptors, it's the best place for them. So Svenskaren got a great use of his first 2 wards. They spotted Mike Young even 3 minutes later. They still know where he's going to be, and now they finally expire.
Really, we got to code brush to see how much it's entered and see which of the brushes entered the most in the early game. Obviously, that one in front of red, or you would say behind if you're on the opposing team, is the place you put the pink ward or first early ward. Svenskaren coming down. All the wards let him know he'll be there before Mike Young, but the TPs are here too. Pyrian with a nice cutoff. Double lift over the wall. Bjergsen now with Svenskaren in a bad spot as Hanser comes in. Nature's Grasp is coming in slow, but not quick enough for Pyrian. He goes down. They lose Svenskaren in the 1-for-1. And who is next? As everybody was very timid about entering that fight.
Yeah, 5v5 in the bot lane, 8 minutes in. That's just what we talked about, how that is what Phoenix1's composition wants to do. And I think that Phoenix1 should actually be pretty happy about the outcomes because they got both teleports out from TSM. TSM knew it was coming. They pinged the Maokai on the bottom side of the jungle, and then it's still just a 1-for-1, and the kill goes over to Kog'Maw. So I think that's a win for Phoenix1.
Yeah, fantastic wall. Didn't really allow TSM to do too much off of it. We'll see it again in a second here. Something special. Hatching that ward. Almost going to have another ward in a second. Here it is.
Yeah, so TSM gets stunned there on Biofrost. He gets pretty low and isn't level 6 yet, which means he has to stay out of the fight. Double Up then hops over the wall, and it's a temporary 2v4 while Hanser's teleport completes. TSM does pick up first blood thanks to the package doing a bunch of damage to Taliyah, but aside from that, pretty much a wash of a fight.
Ooh, summoner heal just used by Double Lift.
Yeah, pretty little aggressive trade there.
Keeps himself alive. Looks like Special went under the turret for a few shots with the amount of damage he's taken here. Arrow flashed forward as well for that situation. So quite a bit of action in that bottom and the replay.
Yeah, Biofrost had gone back to base as well as he snuck into the jungle to place some wards, so they had a window to try and go after Double It. But check out the ward coverage they have now.
Yeah.
So that not only was that the 2 Tracker's Knife wards by Svenskaren, it was 2 of the Sightstone wards from Biofrost. They want control, and they want to know when those bottom lane ganks are going to happen.
Like the action has stopped just yet. You said the fights would be bot lane. The fuse was lit, and it is still going for both P1 and TSM. It was the fight with the teleport that is extended now into this Mountain Drake. And the rest of P1 is here. The cooldown enough for Nature's Grasp to come back up, reused as the cats dive forward.
Yeah, Mountain Drake doesn't do very much damage, so Svenskaren's still pretty healthy. Pyrian's in a bad spot.
Oh, very bad spot. I think he realizes that himself. Comes up, goes back down as the second kill in the game for TSM. And now they're trying to decide, can Mike Young get in there for a smite? Not worth it, as the wards for TSM were placed too far ahead of time to get this dragon.
Yeah, slow and steady wins it there for TSM, understanding the differences between the Drakes. That was a Cloud Drake. It attacks 4 times as fast as the Mountain Drake, so Svenskaren wouldn't have been able to be at full health and jump out of that. We're going to watch what happened during that replay where they tried to kill Double Lift right here. And Spectrum moves forward. They really wanted to get this done, so they flashed forward, but
just
it
wore off.
expired right before. If that stun procs, Double Lift is dead.
And here is the dragon fight as it just kept going.
Yeah, Maokai Ultimate, Svenskaren says, I want no part of this. Knows he can hop over the wall. But then Phoenix1 can't really commit, and Pyrian gets stuck between TSM.
Nice job by Sven to get her on the back. Say, I can get out of this situation if I want. If I get into the situation, my team is there. So a win-win on both sides. You see TSM come out on top there. A little bit of gold ahead and that Mountain Drake to start things, especially with the Tristana here. Mike Young cleaning up the jungle, 65 to 59, as the jungler is staying at a pretty good clip. Sven has been able to get his hands into these fights a little bit more.
Yeah, and even though we've been focused so much on the bottom lane, we need to look a little bit at the top lane because Hanser's opened up an 800 gold advantage over Zig. Ooh. Nard can be quite the lane bully as well, looking to dismount him here before turning mini and pressuring the turret.
The wallop, one more, hits him with the glacier.
Now it's time. Perfect transformation timing, actually. Just when he'd want to disengage. Now he's going to start harassing the turret.
Dodge there, they call Sven up. That's going to be Bjergsen as well. He's slowly roaming without package, but they'll be fine. He has blue buff to keep this fight continuous. Bjerg's actually going to still come down towards that second tier. They're going to have quite a bit of damage. Explosive cast back, flashes. He's going to get it and feel safe to stay. That's when Bjergsen arrives. He has to ult out of the situation. Zig is safe, but Pyrion is not. Number 3 for Pyrion coming up, and that's number 1 for Double Lift.
Pyrion is just not having a good Taliyah game here. Gets caught in wards while trying to set up a play, and that's the opposite of what Phoenix1 wanted.
Oh, straight onto Biofrost. They know the summoners have been used over and over in this bot lane, but with 3 strong, they have the catch potential. Ponser with the TP down, just gnawing out.
All right, Zig can TP in here as well to make it a numbers advantage for P1, but Hanser has ult soon. No, it doesn't.
Oh, no, locks it in, just throws in, was looking for a straight wallop off the hop. Ponser goes down, Mike Young, quick kick to the face. Now they're onto it, their double lift, I'm sorry, special there to lock him down. And that is a 2-kill coming in for P1, and they had just dropped Biofrost.
Yeah, steadfast in their focus, bottom lane, is Phoenix1. Even though Pyrion died to the duo lane, P1 was not dissuaded from that pressure. TSM just kind of kept throwing bodies at it. Not accounting for Zig's teleport, I think, towards the end of that one. Cost TSM big.
A lot expended by P1 to grab that. Only Pyrion's flash is up. No, it is not. No summoners up for P1. A Pyrion, death number 4 coming in.
Yeah, this is quickly becoming a nightmare for Pyrion. His team doing work in the bottom lane. Everyone else deathless. 4 deaths in the mid lane. Burns his flash and falls yet again. But still anyone's game. He's got to make sure to not tilt as this one continues. Firefrost flash is late. There were just too many people under the turret right there. Shouldn't have been in that spot. The turret should have been given up, but I imagine it was a team call to try and defend because Hanser said he could TP and was Mega. But with no Gnar ultimate, Hanser really doesn't have many places to go. Thought Bjergsen was going to come in. I mean, he must have thought he had ult. Otherwise, you do not flash in a point-blank range of the opponent like that.
Like, that's right, I just soloed Zig.
Oh, by the way, I used the top lane to harass. Big mistake there by Hanser with the flash forward to the death.
15 minutes in, Pyrion. Teammates on his back. Arrow, though, 2-0-2, doing exactly what he needs to do if Pyrion isn't one that is able to provide this damage. The Kog'Maw just may be able to. Bjergsen with the package, possible plays to be made. His teleport is still up. Ponser will take back to that top side as TSM starts to spread thin and try and push the lanes on P1.
Yeah, they do have that turret advantage. They've taken the bot lane thanks to the help of Tristan, and they've taken the top lane because Hanser's got a big lead over Zig. If they take the Rift Herald here, they're going to shoot at mid lane and then try and take control of the map that way. So even if there has been a few missteps by TSM, they still have the game in control, so to speak, and a plan to go forward.
They did just see Arrow on the bot side. They're going to be able to take this without the Herald used. Now they get to use it on a second tier turret whenever they want.
True.
That is absolutely huge.
Yeah, I actually think it's going to be hard to get good use out of the Rift Herald now.
That does, that you do make a good point.
Yeah, you got to place it deeper in enemy territory. Although, my favorite use of Rift Herald is when a team uses it as a Drake is coming. Because it's harder for the opponent to defend against it if you're sending everyone to Drake. So now Zig without teleport, if that turret wants to stay alive, Zig's got to be there. But TSM can now send 5 people to Drake.
A gigantic banner of command at the moment.
Yes. True? That's exactly what it is, Rip.
So yeah, Zig will definitely have to respect that call. TSM now heading down towards Dragon, 5 strong. Remember, Zig's teleport is down from the previous engage.
If they wait too long, then Zig's going to make it here.
Yeah.
Zig's already in alt range.
Hang onto the turret. He did enough damage that it wouldn't really matter if Rift Herald got to the turret. Infernal goes over to TSM as Nature's Grasp kind of disengages the fight if it were to happen. And kind of just minions lost the top side. Very well played by TSM to run P1 thin there.
Yeah, they also got the majority of the turret that Zig abandoned. So overall, a successful map play by TSM right there. Essentially turning a Rift Herald into an Infernal Drake rather than using Rift Herald to take a turret.
I think you're seeing in these engages too is P1's kind of hesitant to say, can we go in, can we not? The Nature's Grasps aren't absolutely terrifying. It's not a terrifying spell in itself, but it seems to keep being an afterthought here from P1. This is the second Maokai play for Mike Young, so they're not instantly like snap engaging to say, hey, if they go for the dragon, let's take it then. If this turret's gonna down, let's take it then.
Yeah, Nature's Grasp is so slow that it mainly needs to be used as a zoning ultimate, or cast at an angle so that the enemy team has to give something up versus get hit by it. But
good point.
When used as an initiation from head on, it's almost never going to be effective. So too many of those types of uses for Mike Young, and since Phoenix1 has that map pressure, they haven't been able to set up the angles for the good ultimates.
A lot of that turret goals has also gone into items for double lift here. Svenskaren's Knight's Vow already purchased. I believe that's on double lift. It could be on Bjergsen. I haven't seen the connection just yet, but you see the Glacial Shroud for Mike Young as they're still piecing these things together. Just pieces really for P1. As TSM controls the map and denies these outer turrets. Such a big influx of gold early in the game. P1 regaining control of their jungle here, doing it with power and numbers. Xpecial goes back instantly polymorph to shut down the Glacial Fissure. He actually never gets it off, which allows TSM to continue the fight. Beautiful job by P1, turning and focusing. A priority on Svenskeren. Bjergsen, however, and double it from the backside, firing in is Svenskeren. I'm sorry, Haunter is the meat wall going in, and they're able to take this one down. 3 for 1 overall as TSM just kind of backs out of that fight to return with more damage.
Yeah, Arrow not at that super shred point on Kog'Maw yet, so it doesn't matter that TSM opens up in a tanks in front team fight. And this time, Haunter did have ultimate when he flashed for Mega Gnar, and it makes a huge difference at the end of the fight.
Very quickly played. P1 still making these fights look pretty good. If they could get to that back line, I feel like it'd be a much different story, obviously. But this choke point, not
good
for them.
Control of Fog of War right there, blowing in the support right to stop, and getting rid of that Unbreakable Shield is a really big difference at the start of these fights. So Haunter threatens from the backside at the start of this fight, slows Arrow's approach, hits Mega Gnar, flashes, gets 2, and that ends up setting up the kill on the third while still burning the Kog'Maw's summoner spell. So patience there by Haunter pays off.
Well, so hard to actually get on this team that I think about it. Biofrost is so fast. Double lift jumps away. Bjergsen can jump away. They all reposition themselves on their own. And you have to pick and choose a target. Bjergsen repositioning now face to face with Zig. Haunter with the boomerang slow.
Yeah.
It looks like they have the last few shots. Nice Kalia wall here. Haunter says, I can hop that. That's not tall enough. It looks like Tyrion actually puts himself in the grave as well. A double kill for Haunter and Bjergsen as the team comes down. Now they have Mike Young in a real sore position. He gets grounded up, but it looks like he's got enough health to live for a little bit longer. Too many members of TSM means one more kill on the board.
No choice at the end there for Mike Young but to try and run away with his ultimate. A big 2v2 win by TSM comes through in the bottom lane. Zig holds his flash that entire time instead of just fully disengaging, allowing TSM to kind of chase through and pick up a double kill. Still finding fights around that 0-5 Talia is beneficial for TSM. Now they jump to Baron.
Crazy stuff. TSM just taking control of this game right now. Xpecial and the rest of the team is going to give a few love taps here as they get in. Zig calling in the cavalry as they rush forward. Xpecial trying to get all the lockdown he can on different targets, and they do drop Svenskeren. That's beautiful for the Baron, but that's going to be Arrow going down. A Cathian surprise, not able to return too much damage here as Pyrion now stands tall by himself. They got Mike Young just on his heels.
Yeah, Phoenix1 had to sacrifice 3 people there to prevent the Baron from going over. They did kill the smite from TSM, so TSM's not going to start it right away. That's just choosing between bad and bad for Phoenix1. They don't want to do this one. We're going to watch this fight one more time down bottom. Bjergsen cuts off Zig with the package. Zig does his best to run away, but right there, you expect a flash. Doesn't flash. Thinks he's going to be safe, but Haunter gets the double leap. And then Pyrion is just hit by a frozen Malinar. Mike Young was coming down to help out as well, but the team's so far behind, the rest of TSM chasing him down.
Just the entry into that fight for P1 as well. That's terrifying. They were all at least 1,000 range from each other. If they were to get there, they probably would have continued to fall one by one. TSM is just causing chaos for P1 in this game. It's almost like they obviously have no choice but to continue to move like this. It's all reactive as TSM moving very fast. That's a Baron. It's going to move even faster now here. TSM 22 minutes in, 13-6.
Yep, 10,000 gold. They really broke this game wide open. Mountain Drake's going to be up in 15 seconds. That'll accelerate their turret killing. During this Baron buff, I think they're going to go and pull that one off. And then I expect them to try and go for a swift win. The flash will be up on Svenskeren in about 5 seconds. That can be their initiation tool, and they might win on this Baron if they play their cards right.
Double lift. I was going to say slowly walking down. Now Bjergsen feels fine on the front line with his blue buff and missiles locked up. And that dragon is picked up. That should be 3 now to the side of TSM. 2 Mountains Infernal Cloud is next here. And actually, yeah, we should have at least 2 more before the Rift Herald, depending on how fast they're taken. P1 looking to activate him immediately.
They're trying.
That looked pretty
but
great.
They're down 10,000 gold. They probably shouldn't be out this far. Might get one out of Hanser.
Oh! Okay, flash out. Knew that was going down, actually. They don't want to give anything up because there is a lot of gold to be grabbed in those outer turrets. Fast moves can be made with this amount of damage from Arrow and the rest of the team if they can get on a few. The problem is TSM is always on a few more turrets first, and now they're on the inhibitors.
Exactly. No flash ult on Hanser is going to help P1 up with this defense a little bit, but
Holy.
it's double Mountain Drake, Trist Porky with Trinity Force. Those turrets go down very fast.
Incredibly fast. Arrow with the 4 kills on the team, 2 to Mike Young, so could have power coming from him if there's protection, but it's not a shield comp. It's kind of a stand in front shield comp. That makes it much harder to protect the AD carry or even your jungler. Mike Young goes down first, he's one of the tankiest. To the front line goes double lift, and then to the back as he says, "King me," and it's gonna be a 15-6 score line. TSM starts on the inhibitors as minions push down the mid lane.
Desperation fight there for Phoenix1. Can't burst through the Lulu shields. TSM still pushing.
Hanser keeps himself alive. The Lulu shield comes through. A Cathian surprise. You're going to have to turn away from that. It definitely would have taken him down. But TSM has lost maybe a little bit more than they want. They're going slowly for the inhibs now. They're going to be back to rinse and repeat shortly.
Yeah, 2 inhibs down. Still about a minute and a half left on Baron. Ardent Sense completed on Lulu. That's going to power him up. I mean, Mike Young saw it was a 4v5. Figured he'd try. But they just don't have follow-up or damage. Pyrion can't get through the tanks, and neither can the Kog'Maw. So even if you flash for initiation on a carry, no one's going to be able to follow up. Tough situation for Mike Young to be in. TSM then just kind of hits whatever's in front, does much more damage than P1 at this point, and take even more control of this game. Watch this one, though. Arrow, ooh, 528.
Oh! Lots of oohs, ahs, and oh my god, TSM is just not stopping this game. Bjergsen coming in for the double kill, 1 behind him with Hanser as they're looking to kill Xpecial. His shield is the only thing keeping him alive right now. As you see the HP drop extremely fast as the hits start coming in. TSM pretty much owns the base here at P1. Hanser just missing there, sun was in his eyes. As they go for Zig, he's gonna put up a final fight here in front of the turrets as the team brings in the minions.
I mean, just because Lulu normally empowers the Trist auto attack doesn't mean Ardent Sense or Gnar mini isn't scary. TSM looking to end.
Scar running off, he's taking the long way home on this one. TSM looking to pad the KDA a little bit. Hanser and Bjergsen on the front line. The Nexus is finally open, and they're allowing the super minions to focus on that. See the back line getting a few shots from Hanser and Biofrost. The team takes down the Nexus, and TSM able to take down P1.
Yeah, now 1 game win away from securing that playoff bye that they have been shooting for all split. They want #1, which would require them to also beat CLG or have Immortals lose, but that's the type of start that they want to have against Phoenix1. The match record's coming in 4-12 on Phoenix1, 12-4 on TSM.
Yep.
if you're TSM, you want the lopsided game that they just had. 27 minutes, clean win.
Right. This isn't one of those, we're going all the way to 3 just because, lose first, go to 2. TSM needs to start early, and they pretty much did. Remember, in the early part of this game, we had some extended plays on the bot side, 13:30 in. P1 with that extended stay, a 3-for-1 bot exchange that they had. We'll have that replay up on your screen in just a second. And this was looking pretty good for P1.
Yeah, this is when the game was still close, and this was a TSM misstep right here. Biofrost shouldn't have been there. They should have conceded that turret because Phoenix1 is faster on the play. Remember as well, the teleport's still up on Kled, and there's no way Gragas makes it down here, so they're opting into an off-numbered fight, and then Hanser thought he had ultimate, flashes in, realizes he doesn't have it, and kind of gives up his life. So maybe if that play doesn't even happen, they might be able to hold that play if they use the turret to their advantage, but instead, they end up giving up 3 kills and the turret in that exchange, but it wasn't enough.
We saw that extend. That goes over to the Dragon fight, and then the game kind of continues for TSM. Turrets start to drop. They have the Rift Herald used top. That equals another Dragon fight. And then 19 minutes in, as this was actually still a pretty quick game. TSM team fight near the blue in the 3-for-1. It still looked good for P1.
Yeah, this one was huge because Phoenix1 didn't have any vision control. So X Special dies immediately, basically from Fog of War. And then just watch how Pierian and Arrow can't get any damage out once the Kog'Maw W is off cooldown. This time Hanser does have ultimate when he flashes. Look at how effective it can be. Gets 2 people stunned into the wall, and then they can just Trist reset the end of the fight. Hop away before the Kog'Maw blows up on him, and then TSM really took control of the game.
And what a composition. I mean, Pierian took the Taliyah very early as you combine the two, and then TSM said he can take his comfortable champion. We'll take everything that can jump over that wall. You'll never corner us. The only thing that can't make it over is Lulu, and then probably makes it out in Whimsy anyways when the wall starts coming. So that just kind of threw the P1 engage off completely.
Yeah, and the 9,000 damage from Taliyah is unacceptable. Right. So we've seen Ryu being subbed in for Pierian, even though he said he wanted to take a break because he's burned out. I wouldn't be too surprised if he's here, that he comes into the game for game 2, because Pierian had a pretty rough one. Yeah,
we'll have to see. We are going to be taking a quick break, but when we return, it is going to be game 2 between TSM and Phoenix1. Don't go anywhere. You're watching North American LCS.